This is Dave. He recently got into Arknights and it has become a game he enjoys a lot. The gameplay is exciting, the story is, besides the long dialogues, quite gripping, and the music is second to none. One day he asked himself how the content of its community must be. Filled with curiosity and excitement, he went on YouTube. The first result he stumbled upon were regular guide videos. However, these are not interesting for him at the moment, because he simply wants to consume pure entertainment. He scrolled down and down and down and found this. This looks interesting. Hey fellow netizens, Plus here. In 2023, a channel called thieves popped up and began uploading loads of Arknights fan animations. You can still do what you want. You are not your dreams yet, Miss Skadi. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The quality gap between the animations was quite large, and from watching through a few videos, it would be clear that this wasn't the work of a single individual. But hey, the content was mostly pretty funny, so who really cares, right? Well, it turns out thieves was a reuploader, someone who takes fan animations from other creators and reupload them on their own channel. But where did thieves stole all of these fan animations from? And why does no one try to strike their channel? thieves' source of content originates from Bilibili, a popular video platform from China. The CN creators never gave them permission to reupload, and they were furious, but unable to do anything about it because they don't have access to YouTube. Some individuals from the CN content creator space decided to join forces. Through help from abroad, they established a channel united under one profile picture and one goal: to take down the content thief. The process of growing that channel was a slow but steady success. It really seemed as if there was a chance to turn things around, but just when things were going too smoothly, something unprecedented had to happen. Their channel was permanently suspended from YouTube. The CN creators realized that it meant one thing: whoever was on the other side, they see it as a declaration of war. Over the course of the past few weeks, other creators in the global space have been becoming more aware of the unjust situation. thieves, one of the global creators who also has connections to some CN creators, decided to step up and do the right thing. First, he brought awareness of the situation to everyone. Word spread across the whole community and people changed their views on thieves' action. Everyone started reporting on the wrongdoings of thieves, and eventually the channel got nuked off the face of the internet. thieves was hailed as a hero by both the CN and the global community, even to this day. The CN creators made a new channel and gained massive success, and it was after all these incidents that no one dared to steal content from others to make a profit, and everyone lived happily ever after. Is what I would have said if I were to write a boring and ideal story. The reuploading of bilibili content, aka the little brother of stealing, has been a reoccurring issue ever since Arknights existed, and this problem has been brought up every once in a while. It is safe to assume that the majority of people in our community are at least somewhat aware of this problem, although some people haven't matured in their understanding of the severity of this problem yet, and others are just blindly consuming whatever they get fed through their best friend online, called the YouTube algorithm. But if you have been living in Sami, which means you don't have any communication with the community outside your own village, you needn't worry, because I will explain everything in detail.
I just consumed, I enjoyed, I never really thought about, the source of the content.
It's scummy, stolen content, and goes against
you think
policy.
about it further when it actually happens too, because this is such a unique thing. It feels insulting.
Just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares.
To have your content re-uploaded
Artists'
and have
opinions
other
don't
people
matter. It just
you know.
doesn't matter, because what matters is the opinion of
This is a type
the
of
people that are buying
you
the product.
don't really think about.
And even if one is gone, another will be back up.
So, let's start with the why. There needs to be a reason why there are reuploaders. The first and most important reason is the existence of the Great Firewall of China. It prevents a large quantity of Chinese netizens from browsing the web outside, such as Google, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. That literally means the CN Arknights community is split from the global community, and they cannot upload their content anywhere other than their mainland platforms, such as Bilibili, a popular Chinese video platform for like-minded weebs. The firewall between the communities leads us to the next reason, a desire. It is evident that the global community hungers for fan-animated content, but over the years of Arknights content history, there simply aren't that many content creators in our space willing to spend the time and effort to make those. In summary, there is a great desire to consume fan animations, but our own community lacks those types of content. Imagine that next to our own community, there's an isolated Arknights fandom that is 100 times larger, has 100 times more guides, more funny memes and especially much more fan animations. And most of them have no way to upload their content abroad. This is where the last part comes in, the people trying to fill the desire, aka the reuploaders.
怎么不听话呀，老婆？我错了。老婆，你不能不听话呀，老婆。
This is a drunk doctor saving Scotty from nuclear waste. It pretty much shows a like-minded gacha addict trying to get their waifu but failing horribly while drunk on stream. A classic form of content that a lot of us would enjoy watching. Did you know that this is the most watched Arknights video on CN? It is the first video that was re-uploaded by none other than thieves, a channel that primarily does English subtitles and comic translation for Arknights. As most of you probably know about thieves from the past Arknights drama, before the AI drama though, they used to be one of them, a bilibili content re-uploader. It is how they started to build their YouTube channel. thieves was also the only re-uploader who was somewhat active in interacting with the audience, meaning they did post in the community tab and were vocal on Twitter. Well, so vocal that it literally caused their own downfall. We will get to that a little bit later. They used to regularly upload all sorts of content that originated from Bilibili. Aside from their activity and engagement with others on Twitter, most of the things thieves did were just like any other re-uploader. Actively steal from Bilibili creators, add a source to justify their action, slap a partly incorrect translation so they can feel good about themselves, and claim that they put actual effort into the content. Okay, but there's also a Genshin video in here and I have no idea why they decided to upload that one. And this video, Arknights 𝗪𝗢𝗥𝗦𝗧, 16-year-old bunny CEO. Why do they have to mention this in their video title? Anyway, please keep this video in mind because we will talk about this later in detail. Over the course of months, thieves was able to grow their channel very consistently, even though the difference between each video's success varies by a lot. It doesn't really matter as long as they kept uploading, and things kept moving in their favor for quite a long time. They translated dozens of fan comics and also built a sizable audience on Twitter. On February 16th, 2023, AI is just a tool, no need to panic. Wolves kissing, #Blender, #ControlNet, #Arknights 𝗪𝗢𝗥𝗦𝗧, #Arknights. I spent a few hours working on the detail of the 3D model of Texas and Lapland. The result is worth the effort. AI painting practice, minus Blender, plus ControlNet, #Arknights, #Arknights. With more practice, one day I will make a short comic series about Enfield. To save you from utterly losing your mind, I've decided it is for the health of everyone's sanity to partly censor the images. It is from that point onwards that thieves started to upload tons and tons of AI-generated art on their Twitter account, but they still translated fan comics from time to time. At least they are translating everything themselves, am I right? Right? Rhinelab Episode 1 Audiobook. Huh? thieves tried to experiment around with AI translated content, which probably didn't reach their expectations, so they went back to the roots and stuck their meat back on bilibili like they used to do. But now we have no way of telling whether they were using AI for translations or not, but that doesn't really matter anymore. The most well-known stolen video to this day is this one, Heat. It is an epic battle between Red and 𝗪𝗏. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you to watch the original video, the link is in the description. This is one of the most well-made fan animations in the Arknights space. It got so many views in CN and even here. In fact, other people are making reaction videos out of it as well. Oh, he didn't know that thieves is not the original creator, and no one is even pointing that out, and they were being sourced. Remember that one Arknights 𝗪𝗦𝗥𝗦𝗧 video I told you to keep in mind? No, this is not a repost from thieves. This was the same song and the same video, but the song was sung by an AI voiceover, imitating 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗢's voice by feeding the AI her in-game voice lines. Oh, I mean anime voice lines. AI 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗢 voice, trained using anime voice lines, compared to the original YOASOBI track that I have listened over 1,000 times in a loop. This version is much closer to 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗢 singing it by herself. Hey buddy, what do you mean you have listened to it 1,000 times in a loop? Does it change the quality of the AI voice or something? Or does this make it sound like you have put some actual effort into the video? Because you don't. Oh wait, this AI video wasn't even yours, it was trained by someone else. On bilibili. The video has caused a lot of controversy for them, and that is when they stopped uploading content on YouTube, for the time being. Instead, they decided to go 100% ham on their career as an AI artist on Twitter. AI is the child of humanity. Well, let's see how long this will last. Every time they posted an AI generated image, they go out of their way to credit everything they believe was used in the process of generating these absolute abominations. It was this last post that broke the camel's back. The original artist of Skadi stepped up and simply wanted thieves to stop crediting his name, as well as explicitly mentioning that they do not want their art to be used for training AI. 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗪𝗧's reply went viral, and it was clear on whose side the public opinion was. So, what do you think was thieves' reaction? Dear 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗪𝗧, with all respect and all my love for Skadi, the Skadi design is a team originated by Hypergraph HG. It is HG's decision for its use. Dear 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗪𝗧, your comment contradicts with HG's continuous support by Hypergraph. Fair use was trained, please remove it before it is asked by the whole community. Thus it continues. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the result of artificial intelligence meets natural stupidity. They try to fight back the justified hate by claiming AI art as freedom of expression. My dude, maybe you should pick up a pen and start learning how to draw, instead of trying to rally the LGBTQ community behind you, which also didn't work. Well, the rest that unfolded was history. There's not much to talk about. thieves turned radio silent for a while, and while their online presence quickly faded into obscurity, no one cared for what the guy was cooking, even to this day. Rightfully so, because holy will of Sami, the stuff they upload is cursed. Don't ever let them cook. Seriously, I feel so sorry for 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗪𝗧. At the end of the whole ordeal, thieves never admitted to any of their wrongdoings. They never apologized to 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗪𝗧 for stealing his work, nor did they ever decide to take any of their stolen videos down. Why am I bringing this up? Because thieves is the most obvious example of how a bilibili reuploader thinks and acts. Trust me, this sort of behavior or non-behavior is going to reappear a lot more in this video. thieves simply overstepped their own boundary way too many times, played their cards the worst possible way, and ended up being one of the few where justice was served accordingly. Nowadays, they are so irrelevant that they won't do anything that would harm the community ever again. Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗧 ending 123 AI voice via GPT STV. Oh! Little Kids was not the only channel that was taken down when Taktis called them out. A long time ago, there was another channel that started the whole trend of reuploading. Arknights 𝗪𝗢𝗥𝗦𝗧, the first channel that got big by helping bilibili creators to get more publicity without their consent, while making a few extra bucks on the side. Arknights 𝗪𝗢𝗥𝗦𝗧 was back then the primary target of thieves because of the amount of stolen videos they had on their channel. Their channel was eventually taken down in the crossfire, which means it was terminated indefinitely by YouTube. There's no trace of them left anymore. Oh, never mind, they changed their name and got away with it.
You can't keep getting away with it!
And that was almost 3 years ago. Now they are still doing it like nothing ever happened. Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗦𝗧 nowadays goes by the name of
赤红
Shihong Rose, aka Crimson Rose. But why exactly Chinese characters? There are two reasons. The first is to get away from the punishment. The second is more of a speculation. Obviously, you and I, the people who are long enough in the community, know that most of these reuploaders never have the permission to upload bilibili videos in the first place. But what about the majority, your average Joe? Those people would believe that Crimson Rose is in some way affiliated with the CN creators. They have Chinese characters in their name. They must know what they are doing. What I want to say is that these individuals are very aware of what they are doing, and they are calculated in pretending to be legit. In other words, they are smart with the way they steal. Well, except for 12 Wave. Over the past 3 years, Crimson Rose has stolen over 700 fucking videos, and they are still being monetized to this day. Oh hey, they still kept a snippet of their past identity, Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗦𝗧 content.
He will never change. He will never change. Ever since 2020, always the same. Couldn't keep his hands out of bilibili content, but not our Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗦𝗧. Couldn't be our precious Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗧, stealing them blind, and he gets to be a pillar of our community? What a sick joke.
Crimson Rose was, in a sense, the pioneer of content theft in the global space. Everyone else did what they started out with, which was uploading fan animations and adding their terrible translation, camouflage it with the source in the video description, making it appear to the general audience that what they are doing is okay. But did you know that there used to be a different side to Crimson Rose? They used to make their very own original content. So, let's head to the very beginning of their channel's history. They started their content journey by re-uploading. Okay, I'm sorry. We will get to Crimson Rose's original content in a bit. Just bear with me for now. They started their content journey by re-uploading a moderate amount of videos every week. These consist of different fan animations and MMDs that originates from bilibili. Back then, the sourcing was not always available, unless this was actually part of Crimson Rose's original content too. This went on for a week, and yeah, they uploaded 32 videos on a single week, which means they roughly uploaded 4.5 videos every single day, which is fucking insane. I take back about the moderate amount of video uploads each day. 4.5 videos a day is insane, and all these videos are still being monetized to this day. But on May 15th, 2020, Crimson Rose uploaded their first original content, Arknights reroll faster without clearing any data. And from that point onwards, they started to mix their own content with other bilibili re-uploads. Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗦𝗧 100 rolls using 10 accounts. Arknights Blaze Banner 100 pulls using 10 accounts. Arknights Mustima Banner 100 pulls for fun. Feed 10 doctors. Please note that I am not trading or selling any Arknights account. This video's purpose is only for fun. Blood, you said in the video title feed 10 doctors. What do you mean not selling? Are you lying in your video title? But hey, credit is where credit's due. We ought to praise Crimson Rose for at least attempting to make their own content. In their Mustima Banner video, they started with a first 10 pull for fun. Then, for some odd reason, they started showing other unlucky players who didn't get the operator they wanted. Envy is a sin. You know what else is a sin? Greed. They go on about just how terrible others' luck can be. When other people need her, he got 2. What a sin. What do you mean, what a sin? I think I'm starting to lose real life sanity. Oh yeah, please note I'm not selling or trading any Arknights account. like they mentioned, this video is only for fun. Okay, here's the kicker. This video doesn't only serve entertainment, they also scripted some educational parts into it too, so people who couldn't pull for Mostima wouldn't feel too bad about it. Now I'm not feeling too good about my odds on this one. By the way, you said by the way twice now. Regarding first 10 pulls on every banner, the guaranteed pull works on your 10th pull. That means if you got 5-star or 6-star before the 10th, that means if you got 5-star or 6-star before the 10th. Bro, why did you say that twice? You got the operator by your own luck. I love this person's choice of words. They then showed a calculation of the gacha probability from the banner to educate the viewers on the likelihood to pull a 5-star or a 6-star. They then ask what the chances are of getting Mostima on the first 10 pulls, which they claim to be 17.78%. By the way, I've checked your math. It is wrong, by the way. The probability chance you get at least a 5-star or a 6-star operator after 10 pulls without guaranteed pull was 65.13%. So the guaranteed 10 pulls increased the probability from 65.13% to 100%. My dear Crimson Rose, that is not how you calculate the probability. You don't take the 10 pull into account because it's guaranteed already, which means we only have to focus on the 9 pulls. Let's use the complementary probability approach real quick. First, we find the chance of not pulling any 5-star or 6-star, which is 100% minus the sum of 2% and 8%, which equals 90%. Because we are evaluating 9 pulls, we have to raise this probability to the power of 9 to represent the chance of not obtaining a 5-star or a 6-star from the pulls. The result is 61.26% and not 65.13%. That also invalidates Rose's calculation to get Mostima. It is not 17.78%, but 9.56%. It is good that I work part-time as a tutor. There's not much to say about Crimson Rose, other than the fact that they were the first and one of the oldest thieves, and the fact that they tried to make their own content. Beside that, that is pretty much it. But just before I wanted to move on, I noticed something that never really stood out to me at first.
幽灵莎小姐，听我说，这个桌子下面有女童哦。在哪儿呢？
Why did they replace all these voice lines and sounds with boring background music? Don't reuploaders usually try their best to avoid putting more effort into the stolen content? What is going on? Clearly, this is against a reuploader's philosophy. So far, the best example and many other smaller reuploaders barely put any effort into the reuploaded videos. I mean, what else can they put into the already finished content other than slapping their barely passable translations, which often enough get corrected by the comment section. So what makes Crimson Rose go the extra mile just to replace parts of the content and end up making the whole video experience less enjoyable compared to the original work? Unless... Bilibili has a problem. A copyright problem. You see, music copyright is not written very big on Chinese media platforms. There are countless creators on Chinese platforms who use copyrighted songs in their content and are still getting the full cut of the revenue. However, the blame is not on its users, but rather on the people running the platform themselves. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But that is obviously not the case on YouTube. If you try to monetize a video that uses copyrighted content, you will be nuked off the platform. And that is why Crimson Rose removed the original sound and replaced it with generic background music, so that they could keep profiting from the stolen work. I really wonder how they sleep at night. The fact they are going this far to make the extra work so they can earn from stolen content is just theft at its highest level. If it were just for the views to satisfy your own behavioral addiction, then you wouldn't have had to go out of your way and cut out the original sound. because by that logic you weren't trying to monetize the content in the first place, but these edits of the original content are evidence that you are clearly for the money, and they have over 700 stolen videos. Watching through all of it makes me feel as if stealing from Bilibili was fine, and yes, I watched through every single one of these, both Crimson Rose's re-uploaded version and in comparison to the original version on Bilibili. At least you were sourcing every one of them correctly, unlike a certain other individual that we will get to later. We have 406 videos where the original sound has been replaced, so Crimson Rose can get those videos monetized. But did you think replacing the audio was the extent of what Rose did? Can you believe that they did much worse things to other people's content? Over the course of days of researching their channel, I noticed the recurrence of two sources in a single video description. Beside the half-assed translation and the replacement of the sound, Crimson Rose also put two different videos together and upload them as a single video on their own channel. Sometimes there is barely any context to those glued videos. Why are you doing this? This is way beyond just stealing. You are literally turning two stolen videos into your own abomination of a Frankenstein. Crimson Rose is actively making the fan animations less enjoyable just to get a profit out of it, and probably also to avoid getting struck by blatantly stealing stuff. There are even cases where they turned 3 different videos from different creators into one. I seriously doubt any of the original creators permitted Crimson Rose to merge their work together. How do they keep getting away with all of this? Crimson Rose, if you are actually watching this video right now, do you feel ashamed? Do you feel exposed? Do you feel like disappearing virtually? If you do, then I'm glad that there is still some hope and redemption in you. You should delete your channel. Well, that was quite a rabbit hole. Who is this? Rokettor. Apparently they don't monetize their videos, plus they got permission from the original creators. This looks kinda sus to me, so I decided to go and ask the creators right away. I made my own Bilibili account and tried to ask one of the sourced OG creators first. I realized that I don't have enough social credits to get in touch with any of the CN creators, and so as a foreign netizen, I had to work up from below. The first thing I did was go to the nearest web re-educational center and start learning Mandarin, consuming exclusive Chinese memes so I could also read between the lines in their conversations, and after doing all of this I came back, fully re-educated, and tried to message them again. Okay, this obviously didn't work, so I have somewhat hit a roadblock on my research. I can't prove that Rokettor is doing anything wrong, because they are stating that they got permission, but since the frequency of their uploads is so high, there must be something wrong going on. I will let you off the hook, for now.
Hey, how was your day, Plus?
Not so good.
Did something happen?
Well, I think I hit another roadblock. Here's the thing, there's this Bilibili content re-uploader who has crazy dense uploading frequency, which makes me doubt that they got the legit permission from the original creators. But I just can't find any proof of it, because I just can't get in touch with any of the Bilibili content creators.
I see. So it's a skill issue.
What?
Yeah, a lack of skill.
Oh, I get it now. Thanks, 𝗪𝗪𝗧. You just made me realize something. I have been investigating on my own for far too long, so I decided to finally come out of my shell and ask other creators for help. Luckily, at that time I was already somewhat in a conversation with Dambo, and without thinking too much, I asked him if he knew of any CN creators who would ask in my stead. And to my luck, he actually has a fairly established channel with a sizable audience on Bilibili, so I asked him if he could help me out. which he accepted. Thank you, Dumble, thank you so much. Without your help, I wouldn't be able to cover a lot of things regarding Rokettor, and they would probably have gotten away with all of it for who knows how long. As we guessed it, none of the original creators gave permission to Rokettor, and with this groundwork done, let's take Rokettor under the magnifying glass as well, shall we? This is Rokettor. Arknights. Also, in case someone forgets, any ads you see here are placed by YouTube and they get all the profit. Yes, YouTube monetizes unmonetized videos. It is a good thing that Discord keeps the old channel description, because Rokettor removed the later part a few days ago. Now it is just
Arknights!
This guy began their quest of stealing from the very beginning, and right at the start they were never good at sourcing the stolen content. To be specific, there was not even a source to begin with. You might wonder what's in the video description if they don't even credit anyone. The video descriptions are always an array of hashtags, so Rokettor can boost the stolen videos on their own channel. Just look at this. Hashtag Skali, hashtag waifu, hashtag Arknights, hashtag Arknights 𝗪𝗢𝗥𝗦𝗧, hashtag #mingerfunjo, hashtag animation. And they do this with all of their stolen videos. Where's the source, Rokettor? Where's the fucking source, shithead? It is down there somewhere. Let me take another look. There's really nothing else beside the hashtags. Oh wait, they did add a few more things to the video. Help the algorithm. As you can see, Rokettor was unapologetically trying to grow their channel by linking the stolen content under all of their stolen content. Some of their old links don't even work. Did the original creator tell them to remove them? At last, at the start of 2024, Rokettor started to do the bare minimum of giving credit by linking the creator's bilibili homepage, which is still kind of confusing. You could have just linked the actual source of the creator. Some of those credit links aren't even working. Rokettor doesn't seem to bother about it. Also help the algorithm. Unlike most of the other reuploaders, Rokettor is fully capitalizing on the community tab. They post all sorts of funny Arknights animations every day. Oh hey look, Rokettor actually sources every single post. Let's see where the link leads us to. Okay, at this point, whoever is still convinced that this person is not monetizing their videos has seriously lost me and needs to seek Calcit. Why do they source their stolen videos instead of the OG creator? You know what, I don't even want to ask why. I want to ask how. How do you think that is okay? Claim the stolen content as the source. Do you like to smell your own fart? Rokettor, I assume you consider yourself as an Arknights content creator, or maybe a content provider. But that is not what I'm interested in. I wonder though. Personally, I'm quite open about my YouTube channel with my IRL friends. They are pretty impressed with some of the videos I put out. Do you ever talk about your channel as a content provider? Imagine when someone close to you talks about how they got into YouTube. Hey Rokettor, I just started making some random clips on YouTube. People are watching my videos. Bro, that feels so good. Have you ever considered making your own content? Well, did you know I do have a channel with over 10k subs? Pretty impressive, right? What? No way, that's amazing! When did you start? And what content are you making? Yeah, I can imagine that sort of conversation end up being pretty awkward. Get out from my home. That is not even correct, by the way. She says,
"Get out of my home!"
But let's not get lost in the community posts and backtrack to the main topic. Where were we? Right, we were helping the algorithm. CN creators came together and made a 3-hour-long compilation of all their animations. Each section of the video is being made by a different creator who has a very different animation style, a different way of expressing their love and passion for Arknights. And Rokettor just put the whole thing on their channel to display. A little bit impossible to translate all 3 hours of the party, but it is still here for people that can't go over the wall. We'll still try to translate the single animations though. When Blood didn't get invited to the party. Buddy, first of all, what do you mean impossible? That's the only value you add to the video. How do you even give up on that? Second, what do you mean for people who can't go over the wall? You mean those creators from CN who can't go over the firewall and hold your actions accountable? Thirdly, your sourcing on this one got to be the most confusing one. It was a collaborative project, so if you had done them justice, you should have at least credited every single creator who was involved in that video. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I shouldn't expect that much from you. We are all humans after all, and we tend to forget things that are not important to us, because there are other things that have much higher priority, like asking for your viewers to help the algorithm, and
Arknights!
and all those hashtags that you add to every single one of your videos. This is really disrespectful towards all the original creators. 3 hours and all in 4K? This must have taken you days to upload. Yeah, I bet it took Rokettor days to upload that, and I bet it was pretty hard work too. It is definitely more effort than creating all those fan animations, so much so that they would cheer at Rokettor for stealing their work. Over the past few weeks of digging, I've also noticed a repeated recurrence from different reuploaders. Once they get big enough, they end up reuploading the same content that was already stolen months ago, notably the Heat video, which they named Arknights 𝗪𝗢𝗥𝗦𝗧. We will come to that specific naming a little bit later, so keep that video title in mind. This video was created by Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗦𝗧, a very well-known creator in the CN space. The first person to steal this video was thieves. It got a ton of traction, and people genuinely believed that they were the original creator behind this video. Now, why am I bringing something up that was already brought up before? Remember one of Rokettor's video description I mentioned earlier? But it is still here for people that can't go over the wall. It is obvious that they were actually referring to us global players not understanding Mandarin. I know it is a bit of a confusing analogy, and I am not expecting anything else from someone who had a weirdly sentenced channel description in the first place. So Rokettor, your point being? We global players can't access those awesome fan animations from CN, and you are making all the efforts to get us to know the cool stuff on the other side, right? But here's the licker, we can. No, I'm not talking about going to bilibili. I know the majority of people don't do that. I'm talking about the fact that you are literally re-stealing what was already stolen by thieves months ago. And yes, I invented this term, now add it to your dictionary. But seriously, are you sure you are re-uploading it because you want to get us global players to watch the cool stuff? Then why are you reposting something that has already 1/3 of a million views? I'm not a fan of jumping the gun. But is it maybe because you saw the stolen video's success on thieves' channel and just wanted a piece of its pie? At least thieves wasn't monetizing their content. It is getting harder to believe that your channel isn't monetized, because all the facts speak against it. But Rokettor's biggest theory still overshadows them all, and this guy uploads 3 videos a day. Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗦𝗧. How come this title sounds so familiar? It is made by Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗦𝗧, the same person who also made the Heat video, which was also titled Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗦𝗧. But where is the movie? The stars from the end video was originally created solely for an Arknights animation event in CN. It was a yearly event hosted by Hypergriff, where they invited many content creators to a celebratory dinner in Shanghai to give a toast to the success and longevity of Arknights. And the celebration would always be streamed to the CN community. One of the highlights of these streams are the fan animations that the content creators prepared for this specific occasion. And this fan animation was one of them. It took some content creators more than half a year to finish their work. Now that I have given you the full story behind this video, I think you can see where some of the issues are. Remember the video title Arknights 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗦𝗧? There was never a mention of any movie in the original version, which is pretty misleading. Also, take a look at the video description, a story before the events of Enfield. What is Blood yapping about? There's no mention of Enfield in the original video either. Do you want to put these 2 words into your video this bad? Now, before we finally move on, there is something else I need to add in between this section and the next one. So, I was originally planning to stop researching Rokettor from here and finalize my video for good, especially looking at how long of a video this has become and how much longer it would get if I just kept digging. But something went up after I finished writing the script. Yeah, imagine you finished a 30-page long script and suddenly you realize that there are parts where you have to edit and change things. I don't even wish that upon my worst enemies. So, how did we get there? I was talking with other content creators about Little Kitsune and how their channel got obliterated, and suddenly I realized something. Little Kitsune's channel is gone, which means I barely have any materials for the video to show. My audience would be bored if I just showed them my noob gameplay. To prevent the world from seeing my skill issues, I decided to get myself enough screenshots and recordings of Little 𝗪𝗧𝗪's channel with the help of the Wayback Machine. And I looked, and I recorded, and I dug, and I dug, and I realized something. This video is getting longer every time I look deeper into this hole, and I just found something else I want to cover about, and I don't even know if I should. But I really want to. Because otherwise, this might not come to light and the video script is going to surpass 8,000 in word count. There's more to Rokettor. Chimpanzees and humans are close relatives. We can easily say that because we have quite a lot of similarities, but how do you usually validate that scientifically? You match their DNA, of course. The exact date when Little 𝗪𝗧𝗪's channel was terminated is not clear, but it is estimated to be around June 11, 2023. Rokettors' channel was created on the 29th of June, which is in the same month and just a bit more than 2 weeks later. Remember that Little 𝗪𝗧𝗪's video description I showed you very early on in this video? Does it feel familiar? If not, let me give you a comparison. How about now? It is quite incredible how both of them have almost the same hashtags. We can ignore the 3 Arknights hashtags, but I think it is worth mentioning that both of them always have the #animation, #anime, and #the waifu in question that appears in the stolen content, with a few additions and different variations depending on the content. These are things that you can check for yourself. Okay, here's the clear statement with all the jokes put aside. I'm not making accusations that both channels were being run by the same person. I'm just putting the facts together. And at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter for the bigger picture, because at this point, I think we can all agree that Rokettor is the most shameless reuploader in our content space. They started without sourcing the original creators at all, and that goes for the majority of their content. Even after they started sourcing, Rokettor never made the effort to add any source to the videos from the last year. Instead, they actively use confusing sources or just straight up source their own videos. Who even does that? Not to mention how they made the effort to add totally unrelated terms to the video title as well as video descriptions that were never part of the original version. This is definitely worse than Twirled Wave and Crimson Rose. Now, I don't want to portray this whole situation with reuploading simply as a black and white thing as people did in the past. There are so many reuploaders out there. There are actually channels that get the permission first before uploading the videos. Those channels usually don't get nearly as much attention as the people who blatantly steal anything on site. And then we also have channels that reupload official trailers and songs from bilibili, which is an absolute necessity for the global community, since we need to be informed about upcoming events. Thank you, Oyster, for the ever-expanding space-time dilation between us and the CN server. I will never forgive you. It is just that we have a few people who are doing this without giving the OG creator proper respect, and why isn't anyone doing anything about it? Like asking in the comments, or making videos to call them out, like I'm doing right now. Actually there is, or rather there was. Remember the nice story I told you at the start about thieves and the ideal ending I made up? Well, what actually unfolded was more of the opposite.
You want my stance now? Oh, it's changed, like my view has changed. I no longer care about them anymore. Just feel like it's not worth. I mean, they're gonna be another one no matter what anyway. You know, there's gonna be billions of them. Not to mention other games also have them. You know. And even if one is gone, another will be back up. Yeah. I mean, they're doing it for. I mean, in a way, they're trying to help for people who cannot access bilibili anyway. Yeah, I don't really care about this this matter anymore. I'm sure you know.
Some big fish never got the punishment they deserved, and when Little 𝗪𝗧𝗪 was taken down, thieves was being blamed for their takedown. I guess we really live in a world where stealing is legal. As surprising as this might sound, there was a large group of people who firmly believed that taking down reuploaders was wrong and came up with some of the most delusional reasons to defend their claims. Aren't bilibili users doing the same thing? They are, the proof being that some of the reuploaded videos get copyrighted due to the music that was put into them by the original creator. Any and all moral justification falls flat to the reality of the situation. Well, by that logic, I guess I can also commit mass genocide because some other people did it in the past too. Just because the platform may have lax copyright policies does not grant any individuals the moral high ground to exploit content creators. Ethical behavior should not be bound to the policies of a platform. Another common argument being thrown around is that the majority of global players don't go to Bilibili to watch or support the original creator anyway. I don't care where the videos originated. It is embarrassing that this is even an argument in the first place. Creators deserve credit and payment for their work. Taking content from Bilibili without permission is still stealing, regardless of whether the majority of viewers engage with it on Bilibili or not. And get ready for this one. This has to be one of the most insane arguments. CN creators can't upload on YouTube, so they can't generate revenue here, which means they don't lose anything. Did you forget that reuploaders are still doing this without the original creator's consent? Regardless of where they can or cannot upload their content, they still hold the intellectual property rights to their own work. Oh sure, they can't upload their videos on YouTube, which means they won't be profiting from YouTube in the first place. I totally agree with that. But does it mean they won't be able to upload their content to YouTube forever? Like, is it something that has been set in stone and will stay like this until the end of time? We content creators, and I'm talking in that regard for pretty much everyone in this space, invest time, effort, and creativity into building our personal brand and reputation. Imagine this carefully crafted content being stolen without consent. This doesn't just affect a single creator. If things keep going in that direction, we will end up having a much worse space where stealing is just the norm. Oh wait, we are already there, just look at those two. On a side note, I want to mention that this problem is obviously not only tied to the Arknights community, it is much worse with content theft in Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, but it doesn't make our situation here in any way okay. Oh, and here's another argument that I'd like to give an honorary mention. We lose shit tons of memes. You know what that reminds me of?
But I can't just sit here and say that he is entirely wrong, so let's listen to this real quickly.
To expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial. And I do not consider the difference substantial. Do you guys? No. Right. No. And that's really what matters. If it was made with AI, I'm completely okay with that because it was fun.
The evidence
it
is
doesn't
that
matter. Nobody really cares
the lead
about this.
developer has been very positive about AI in the past and made an AI game
We're gonna play
called
this, by the way.
AI Art Imposter that lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was like one of the games.
We're going to be playing this week.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and you know, I guess general Twitter population, which is that, you know, AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists opinions don't matter. It just doesn't matter because what matters is the opinion of the people that are buying the product. Like, it doesn't, like, your opinion on it, like, just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares. Like, it's not relevant. It's like whenever one of these, like, you know, really well-respected and really respectable directors talks about how bad Marvel is. Shut up, old man. Shut up.
Sure. So, yeah, my take on the situation is that uploading without permission is not something I condone. It's scummy, stolen content, and goes against policy. The original creator should be made aware of this, so you know, he or she can then file a complaint against the channel for removal of said materials and a channel takedown, especially if the content was being monetized. That would be my take on it.
Kill one man and you are a murderer. Kill millions of men and you are a conqueror. There is a part in our community that firmly believes that these reuploaders are now pillars of the global community. As much as I hate to say it, but this is kind of true, and it becomes truer the more they steal. I think we can all agree that this is quite a shitty situation we are in right now. Trying to fix it by witch hunting, aka moral crusading to the perpetrator, is ultimately not a long-term solution. History would simply repeat itself, another reuploader would eventually pop up and the cycle would start anew. And every time we do take them down, let's say hypothetically, we take down every single one of them, that simply hurts us, because as much as I hate to say it, we would lose a big chunk of Arknights content, not to mention that we already have a drying content space, with some of the biggest Arknights content creators quitting, leaving a content vacuum. If the reuploaders were gone, that would mean their content as well. Yes, content that was stolen, but it is also content that would encourage people to stick with Arknights, or even bring new players into the game. Less publicity means fewer new players, or even a net loss of active players. In the end, no matter what we do, we will lose regardless. There's no way out, and maybe the best thing to do is to do nothing. Or is it?
So basically, you want a specific answer, or do you want like a generalized answer on like...
Very generalized.
Very generalized. Okay. Before this, do you know that before you're allowed to re-upload... Well, here's the thing. I've been told by multiple people who are re-uploading my content to Bilibili there, you actually have to state where your source is. It's heavily frowned upon in China if you upload, you re-upload something and you didn't like cite your source. Now this is what I'm being told. I'm not sure if it's the actual thing, but that is what it should be, you know. If you're gonna re-upload something, at least credit it. In fact, even in our community, you don't have to be like in China. There are people in global just re-uploading like straight up other people's content without like crediting. And as someone, especially for example, we create this scene. We actually there was this one animation we made. It was the it's basically a 6-second animation. I can't remember from the top of my head. It was a 6-second animation, but someone like uploaded like 2 seconds of it. But that 2 seconds of like animation took us like 3 to 4 days to like rotoscope to get right. That's like, like, come on.
Yeah, that's painful.
Yeah, that sucks. But
it's also kind of like taking out the full context of your whole content, right?
Yeah. So to give your answer, like what I think about people profiteering out of re-uploading CN content without even like asking permission. Like, I'm used to I've been a content creator since 2022, but I've been using YouTube as a media platform since 2011. I've seen eras, I've seen waves, I've seen drama, I've seen so many things happen in the space, and I think at this point it's like an established rule that if you're gonna re-upload someone's content, at least credit them. You know, if you're not gonna reach out to them, at least credit them. That's the least that you can do. And when I checked Bilibili, majority of the people who re-upload my content credit me, and I think that's, at least there's an etiquette. It's an unsaid etiquette, you know.
Yeah, it's an unwritten rule.
Yeah, unwritten rule. There we go. It's an unwritten rule. Yeah, it feels insulting to have your content re-uploaded and have other people like profit from it. Like, look, for me, you know, I before like the recording, I did tell you that this is a type of question you don't really think about, and you think about it further when it actually happens to you, because this is such a unique thing. Like when I was when I was a consumer for Arknights content, I wasn't a content creator yet. This was way back 2020 or 2021. I just consumed. I enjoyed. I never really thought about, you know, the source of the content. In fact, majority of the time, I thought the person uploading was the person who made the content. Now, as a content creator, especially making animations for Arknights right now, both 2D and 3D. Yeah. Being now the person making the content, I have lots of thoughts about this, and there's a lot of nuance to it. Because, well, there's a lot of aspects. In the global aspect, I would definitely care if someone like uploaded my content, because here's the thing, I'm in global. This is my area. I think I have the right to protect what videos I make, the content that I do. If I see that someone is misusing what I make, I think I have the right to report it or tell them, hey, this is my content. I would like it. Like, I'm not the type of person who would like outright copy strike you if you like reuse my content, because I know how flawed the well, specifically to YouTube, I know how flawed the copyright system is, and it takes like a lot of pain. And majority of times when someone reuses my content, it's in fair use. I know that it's not in malice, but except for if there's like there's specific people who like reupload the entire thing. I'm like, hey, this is not cool. If you're gonna reupload my entire content, at least credit me, you know. But then there's this nuance to like China. That is something I never thought. And I think it's also for the CN creators, they never thought about their content being brought to global. In fact, I was shocked when I was trying to upload my Neon Bean MV to Bilibili, where I already had streams and I had like a mini fan base in China where I didn't know that existed. So in that aspect, I'm fine with my stuff being re-uploaded to Bilibili. I don't know how CN creators feel about this. However, I can see from the precision, you know, as someone who has worked on animations, there are animations where they may be like 30 seconds long, but it took us like 2 weeks of effort, and seeing someone just re-upload it in full and profiteering from it more than us, especially if they get more views than us, then it's like a slap to our face, like, what the hell, you know?
Look guys, I'm really not the kind of person who enjoys making content about negative topics, especially when it calls out specific individuals in our own community. And I don't want to end this video in a negative tone either. What is also concerning is that the video script has already exceeded 10,000 words. The reason why I decided to become an Arknights content creator is because I love this game. I love the games 𝗪𝗥 makes. I embrace Arknights in pretty much every aspect. Well, except for the seaborn enemies. Not only that, but I'm also looking forward to whatever title 𝗪𝗥 is going to bring out in the future. Look, I was actually working on 3 other video projects. One is a long and extensive video of every nation on Terra, the other is a game review video covering 𝗪𝗏. The last one is the next fan-made skin project. Yes, I commissioned an artist to work on a new skin again. I paid 3 digits for the commission, and I'm aware that the video is not going to bring that investment back, but I don't fucking care. I'm passionate. But I put all 3 projects on hold, so I could bring out this video first. This video might divide people, and it could very likely make our content space even drier, but as an Arknights content creator, I feel obligated to step up and call these people out. It is about time to do the right thing. But we might have lost. With a very big emphasis on might, because I believe I've got a solution to solve all these problems. Before we jump to that solution, we will need to take a look at the root of the main problem once again. We started this journey by more or less addressing the reason first, so that everyone watching this video is pretty much on the same page. But in case you forgot about it, you can watch the whole video from the very beginning to help the algorithm. As I mentioned at the start, our communities are separated by the Great Firewall of China, adding more fuel to this with the lack of fan animations on YouTube, and our desire to consume this sort of content has created the perfect feeding ground for people becoming reuploaders to steal content without consent and gain a net positive for their own piggy bank. So, how do I propose to solve all these problems? First of all, this is something that would only work if we worked as a community, instead of arguing over what is right and what is wrong. We should work together, because at the end of the day, we all enjoy Arknights. All of us want the best for the game's growth and community. Those people who don't want the re-uploaded content to leave have their reasons, and I honestly respect that, as well as people stepping up and doing the right thing. Both sides ultimately want the same thing, the prosperity of Arknights and its community. I've broken down the plan into multiple steps, and if everyone follows this plan accordingly, the golden age might return again. Does it sound unrealistic? Yes. Yes, it does. Does it sound utopic? Yes, it absolutely sounds utopic. But I'd still like to present it to everyone, as this might be our only and best way. This is the hive plan that I've invented, which will ultimately force content stealing to be prevented. My fellow netizens, let me introduce you to Operation Call Off We Many. Step 1. Unsubscribe. Unsub from all the reuploaders. This way we are sending them a message, a gesture of protest against their dehumanizing and disrespectful behaviors towards the original artists. In no time, they will notice the drop of their subscribers count and wonder what they did wrong. Well, they did plenty wrong at this point. Justice may be slow and invisible, but it always renders its true verdict in the end. Step 2. Spread the news. We as a community need to raise as much awareness of this problem as possible, tweet about it, post about it on Instagram, and bring this discussion to your own Discord server. This is where we start working together as a community. Also make sure to ask the reuploaders if they got any approval from the original creator at all. That is the most direct way for them to realize that we are protesting. We simply can't let them get away with it. We should also fight fire with fire, and by that, I mean, I am giving consent to anyone who wants to make a reaction video with this. So, to those people who live inside the walls of other content creators, it doesn't even need to be Arknights related. Spread the word and tape them to their chairs to force them to watch this video, to help the algorithm. Step 3. Don't help the algorithm. It is just like how it sounds. Don't help the algorithm. We can do that if we all start showing disinterest in Rokettors and Crimson Rose's videos by simply not clicking on it. However, if you want to go the extra mile and go above and beyond, there is a way. Move your mouse on the video and then on the 3-dot symbol, click on the symbol and then click on Don't Recommend Channel. If we all start doing this, it will significantly hurt the views of their channel. And it is the best way of protest. Their videos will reach fewer people because the algorithm will notice that people in the same group start to get disinterested in their stolen content. We would also prevent the videos from reaching out to clueless consumers.
Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
Now, before we go to the last and probably most decisive part of this massive operation, I'd like to mention a few things. First of all, to those who have actually managed to do all these aforementioned steps, thank you. Thank you very much for contributing your part to the improvement of the content space. Also, I condemn any and all forms of harassment and other harmful engagements. We all agree that their actions need to be rightfully punished as well as criticized, but by no means do I support something that goes beyond the realm of cyberspace. And with that being said, let's move on to the last and most important step, shall we? Step 4. Content creation. Right now, we have literally done everything that was tried before in the past, so if we keep going in this direction, it won't solve anything. After the heat dies down, people will forget about it, and a new channel reuploading loads and loads of content will rise from the ashes once again. And then, as I said, I'm not someone who enjoys making content about negative topics. Is someone else gonna call out the new reuploader? You can see how this cycle is going to keep continuing, right? We have to break the cycle. And to do so, I'm proposing to add another factor into this equation to solve the problem. And that is you. Yep, you heard it right. You. The person who is watching this video right now. The problem at hand is actually very simple. We lack content. So why don't we make our own content? Look, we are by no means a small community. Arknights is definitely not a dying game. We do not have a shortage of talented artists in the global community, and we sure as hell don't have a shortage of creative individuals. We simply have to start doing something. And by that I mean we have to come together and see what we can do as a community. And to achieve this, I have made up my mind and created a new Discord server. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you Content We Many. This will be a server dedicated to bring all sorts of creative people in the Arknights sphere together, so we can share our work and ideas and further improve everyone's content creation. Let's all come together and work collectively on any projects. Whether you are just an artist who can draw but can't animate, or someone who only knows how to cut videos but don't know much about drawing and composition. Whether you are just an aspiring voice actor or someone who can write the most gripping script for a video but is too shy to speak through the microphone. You will all be welcomed with open arms, for Content We Many is a place where we will bring the golden age back. Together, we can accomplish something amazing. The key is our passion and love for Arknights, and with this final stone I lay on the house, I put the hopes in your hands. Nay, in everyone's hands. If there is any hope, even just a glimmer, I will be holding on to it. I am aware that these times might get tough, and maybe everyone's coming down. I know it is hard to chase utopia on our own, but I'll be keeping faith and take it day by day. Maybe someday soon we will find a way, and then we can place our hope in a better day, because I believe in us.
I guess I can speak on personal experience on how I kind of made it to where I am now. So I guess per a previous game, Blade and Soul, how I kind of made it big in that scene was I found a space that wasn't done yet for content creation. So a lot of, I guess I would say walkthroughs, guides for that game was done in other languages other than English. And at that time, the game was available in global, so I thought, well, you know what? I will do this stuff, but in English. And there we go. It got an audience, people followed, and that's how I got my foot in the whole door of content creation. But I would say the biggest part of it is how to motivate people to, make content is to find something in Arknights that motivates you, right? So you want to zone in on that passion and then use that to create content, because there's no point in doing something you don't like, because then you don't want, you won't want to do it for a very long time. So that would be my advice.
Thank you. Yeah.
Motivation, huh? Well, if you love for Arknights like really passionate, you love for that operator, then you should make videos on that operator, I guess. I can make lots of videos for Scotty, for example. I'm still making some. Yeah, I can just make your favorite operators, like what you like about her and stuff like that. That's gonna be something, I guess. Yeah, motivational. Money is definitely not a motivational thing. Yeah, I guess you can, once you make some videos, you can check the comments. Comments probably gonna help you. You read some comments and keep going. And also you can try posting on Reddit, I guess, on the Arknights official Reddit, on Discord, and see what other people's feedback on it. It may be harsh though, because sometimes people do down post your videos for no reason. Like when I first started, everyone down posts my video, by the way. All my videos have zero votes when I first started. Yep, that's true. Yeah. Don't get affected by those people. Obviously, they're jealous. Like you get a tiny bit of views. Who cares? They just kept going. Now I do a lot of different stuff. No longer the same. Okay.
What inspired me to make Arknights content was a podcast. It was Cookie's podcast, which he stopped. I wish he brought back. It's like him doing like a one-on-one content creator podcast. I have been working in the space since 2022. That's the earliest, and I started out as someone who I was an Arknights tryhard. I wanted to succeed in the space as an E0 level 1 skill 1 gameplay streamer, but with the question of, is that what I really knew that I wanted to do? The answer is, that's what I wanted to do, but it wasn't something that I was sure that I wanted to be this. To any other people there who want to start Arknights content creation and don't know where to start, to be honest, you should start with what you're comfortable with doing. Basically, I'm telling you to start with whatever. I started out as an E0 level 1 skill 1 streamer, and I have evolved into to what I am nowadays, and that didn't come overnight. It actually took me like a few months to realize on like what I needed to do and what I want to do, because it's not just you have to need it, you also have to want it. You could see a niche and fill it, but you also have to want to do it. And you just start. The hardest part of being an Arknights content creator is just starting it. You can know what you want to do, you can need what you want to do, but the question is, when will you do it? And if you're not confident with your skills, don't worry, that will come to you over time. Look at my first video or one of my earliest streams and look to where I am right now. Those skills, what I'm doing right now, didn't come to me in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. It took me a long time. It took me lots of like experimentation. And also, for people, this is my tip. Don't steal what CN has. Well, here's the thing. I'm an artist, and there's this very popular quote within the art community, which is good artists make, great artists steal. But that doesn't just mean stealing the no. You take the concept and make your own out of it. There's a reason why reuploaders of bilibili content get super popular in global. It's because they're filling a niche that no one fills. Look at the videos. They're mostly animation. They're mostly compared to what we do in global, they are something majority of us don't make. And that's basically what I transformed into. I am filling a niche that no one fills. Look at 𝗪𝗧. 𝗪𝗧 fills AK lore. No one really does that. In fact, God, I forgot there was someone even before 𝗪𝗧 who was filling about AK lore. And look at like Plus's channel. He does so many things that it's not just gameplay. I had this concept back in the day where there was this, not concept, I had this like lingering thought because there was this, it was a major sentiment in the Arknights community way back 2012, 2023, where you can only make guides for Arknights. If you're gonna do anything else, if you're gonna stray from the formula, then it's gonna be hard. But I like how over time that notion is slowly drifting away. You can see now very, varied types of like Arknights content. So yeah, if for aspiring content creators out there who want to start making Arknights content, my number one tip is to start doing it. If you're not sure with what you're gonna make, just make something you're comfortable with. Over time, you're gonna like not just improve your skills, but you're gonna know what you're gonna do. Second, if you don't have an idea of what you're going to do, look at a niche. Look at something that no one has really done yet. In fact, the other day, I was recommended a really unique thing I haven't seen yet. It was someone doing like someone dancing in VR chat to like Arknights music, which is something I haven't seen. I know it's a thing within like the K-pop community where people will make their own choreography dancing to like the songs of like the artists that they like, and seeing that pop in my community feed, in my recommended feed, was like a breath of fresh air. I was like, oh, Arknights content could also be like this. And third, the answer to the reuploaders is it's actually the reason. Steal the concept. Do not steal the videos. Steal the concept, make it your own. This is why reuploaders are getting so many views in global, because they are filling a space that no one is. If you fill that space, there would be no need for these reuploaders. So, to beat these reuploaders, not only do we have to condemn the reuploading, but also as a community, even like I've been seeing people who've been inspired by other people, and it's just amazing to see how I have colleagues right now who have been doing things in their own way to make the community better. So you could also do your part. You don't have to make content per se, but it's also controlling the discussion. And yeah, so I guess I kind of I did I'm just rambling at the end here, but basically what I'm trying to get to is the only reason these people exist is because no one is making the effort to, you know, really solve the problem. And I think the best way to solve this problem is to not support it and to also fill in what they're filling in. That's basically it.
All right, yeah, thank you so much.
Like I had the gist of like, it's like
no, I just stopped the recording. I love Arknights, and I say that not just from a player perspective or from my content creator perspective. No, I say that purely from my consumer-driven need, because I've spent way too much into this game and its merch, and oh god, I love Arknights. Well, how should I go on about this? This is not just a game for me. Arknights means more. To me, Arknights is a group of people I'm familiar with. No, I'm not talking about Schizo. This is the game that has become irreplaceable to me. And last year I made up my mind to dedicate my channel to Arknights content, and maybe Enfield content in the future. To see this game and its community thrive is the best thing for me. I feel like I've become a part of it ever since my game review video. I've seen new players joining my server and how they improved their understanding of the game over the course of weeks. Things like this made me realize how I impacted individuals positively with my video, and it makes me feel very fulfilled. I hope I can keep it that way with my future videos too. And it is gonna be longer. Much longer. I want more people to experience what an awesome game Arknights really is, how well the music is, how great the story is, how deep the gameplay can be, and how fucking long an old catwife can ramble on and on. I know what I'm asking is probably very big for a lot of people, and maybe my proposal is too delusional. Maybe I'm a fool to be making all these shouts. Maybe I'm a fool to be thinking that this could even work out. You can call me what you want. Cause when all is said and done, the golden age will come.
Known we were the envy of the world. That's what our songs would say. I used to lay awake and dream of our return to better days, the golden age.
Finally, we have reached the end of this video. What a wild ride, huh? Without the help of Dumbo and a handful of other individuals, the production of this video would have been even longer. Oh, this! Yep, that is my new outfit. It was custom made by Zodiac. They are a pretty good artist. Do check them out, link is in the description. A big thank you to all my channel members, aka my privileged consumers, Provin Animus, Maguro, Jason Wisanto, Frit, Azra Water, Akirian, and Nona. I love every single one of you. Thank you so much, guys. If you are not part of the gang, you should really consider joining. Also, a big shout out to some of my awesome server members too. As always, they give me mental support in times of need. You guys are the absolute best. You are the reason why my server is so active and deranged and down bad. Okay, let's not get there. But in all seriousness, thanks guys. I don't take that for granted. So yeah, thank you all for being yourself. Oh, it's not over? My script tells me I should just keep yapping while the shoutout is running. Alright. Well, if you're into drama and war crimes, I recommend you to watch this video, where I put Doctor and Traveler into a 1v1 fight. Not interested? How about an extensive Arknights review video? Boring as fuck? Alright. How about this one? I spent money to commission an artist to make a skin for an operator who doesn't have a skin. Oh right, she has a skin now. What about my best of Arknights 2023 videos? Oh, we are about to enter the first half of 2024, right? Last year is like a century on the internet. How time flies, huh? Well, I guess that's it. Yep.